See, back here again with another video. Basically this one is about how to attract wild birds to your garden. So let's do it. So here we have the Happiness for Birds group book. Basically in here it's just because I have like an organisation where I raise funds and then I put it towards buying bird feeders and bird seed to put up in local churchyards, parks, etc. So basically, to start this video off, I'm just going to show you this little. It's called a bird seed guide, and you can print it off. And if you have a printer and a computer that you have access to, so on here it just shows you what things birds like best. If I went through this, it would take a long time, but I have a rough idea, so I'm just going to show you quickly through the seed. Okay, so to start off with, I have a big container here with loads of birdseed in, and fat balls and etc. And basically, there's one thing in here that I'm going to tell you that I don't have, but other than that, pretty good. So, to start off with, I'm just going to start off with something simple. You can just get like a little bird feeder and just put like hamster bedding or like cotton wool balls or dry lint in it. It depends on the time of the year though. Like early February, January, then you just put some like stuff in a bird feeder or just out and then hide it in places or whatever, and the birds will come and use that to build their nest, especially if you have some bird houses up. I'll just go and show you a birdhouse right now. Okay, so there is one standard birdhouse, and there's another standard birdhouse. So I recommend having a scoop or something like that, but for all your bird seed, which is what I'm going to show you now. So first off, we have peanuts. A lot of birds really love peanuts. Birds like so here we have the peanuts. Birds like a lot of blue tits, great tits, cold tits. Them sort of birds, some long-tailed tits, some goldfinches, greenfinches, chaffinches, bullfinches, siskins, starlings, house sparrows, all them sort of birds like them. I would say that mainly the tit family likes them the best, and house sparrows. Other than that, the other birds aren't too keen on them. So that's the peanuts right there. And it depending on where you live, a lot of birds really love peanuts. You'll get through them really quickly. Okay, now we have just a standard wild birdseed mix, which is probably the most standard but loved bird mix. A lot of birds like collared doves, house sparrows, starlings, blackbirds, song thrushes, robins, dunnarts, great tits, blue tits, cold tits, long tits, all them sort of birds absolutely love just a regular old seed mix. And we just had 2 house sparrows fly right by our heads. And so there's the standard seed mix. Okay, now we have more seed mix, more seed mix, more seed mix, and more seed mix. Okay, next up we have a good old fat ball. Right here you can have standard fat balls. You can make your own fat balls, but right here, and you can make like different things like that. Right here we have the fruit and berry fat ball, which you can get a lot of them, but you'll probably go through them quite quickly depending on where you live too. Okay, now we have this is quite a nice little treat for them. It's called the suet feast. Basically, this is a coconut shell with a piece of string. This one's a berry one. So yeah, this is suet and berry. You can also get just a regular one of them too, which is just suet, and probably some seed mix. Then the next thing that we have is suet pellets. Suet pellets, birds absolutely love suet pellets. A lot of birds like jackdaws like them, blackbirds like them, what they call siskins like sparrows like starlings like think I was right saying siskin. No, I wasn't. Starlings. So there you have that. Alright, next up we have mealworms. Birds absolutely love mealworms. Birds of every kind of bird. I would say that 99% of birds love mealworms. Blackbirds absolutely love mealworms. Jackdaws like mealworms. Starlings like mealworms. Song thrushes like them. Robins like them. Dunnocks like them. Wrens like them. Great tits like them. Blue tits like them. Starlings like them. House sparrows like them. Collared doves like them. Pretty much every type of bird, apart from the finch family, does not like them. And if you get one of these bird seed guides, you'll be able to see from here which one's like, if you can't remember it from this video. Okay, next up, this is a very specialised seed. It is mainly a certain type of bird that likes them, and that would be the goldfinch. So kind of the finch family, but not all of them. Siskins, bullfinches, goldfinches, and greenfinches. That is a roundabout it that likes actual Niger seed or thistle seed. It is very small, very small seed, so they absolutely love it. But it does depend on the finch. It's like some people don't like mashed potatoes, some people do. And then last up, well, not last, but last in this bag, this box, we have sunflower hearts. I do not have any black oil sunflower seeds other than in the seed mix. What I do have is sunflower hearts. Sunflower hearts are loved by a lot more birds than you do with black oil sunflower. Sunflower hearts, every kind of bird apart from robins, dunnock, wrens, and long-tailed tits love them. Absolutely love them. And starlings don't like them either. You can't get much better than sunflower seeds, depending on where you live. The main thing that I would recommend getting is sunflower hearts, especially if you want goldfinches. Goldfinches do like Niger seed because it is specialised for them. That is what they would eat in the wild. But sunflower hearts are such a great thing to have because it's not just for species of birds that actually like them. A lot of birds do, and finches absolutely love them. The only reason why sunflower hearts are better than regular black sunflower seeds is because the sunflower hearts, they don't have to take the shell off, and some types of bird cannot do that, like the finch. Another thing that birds might like is like a specialised fat block, suet block. So right here we have the specialised blackbird mix. Right here, the kind of messed up one, we have the specialised insect mix. And right here we have the mealworm mix. Birds love mealworms. As I've already stated, a lot of birds love mealworms. The only thing with mealworms is, depending on where you get them from, they are very expensive. But I do recommend getting them. Now, with these beauties called mealworms, I would recommend mixing them in with a seed mix or something like that, because they will get through them so quickly. As you can see, I refilled this yesterday night. It is now empty, and it is only midday. Pretty much empty. The birds can still get to it a bit though, so we're good for now. I would recommend getting a big bag of mealworms, or mixing them in with some seed. Okay, and then now the only thing that I don't have is robin and songbird mix. Now, robins and songbirds love the robin and songbird mix. That's quite straightforward. I am planning on getting some of that to mix in with some mealworms, because robins love them too, and so do songbirds. So, I'm getting some of that quite soon. Okay. Here we have the high energy bird mix. So it's got like red millet, sunflower hearts, like actual high energy pellets, that sort of, a couple of bits of corn, I think, that sort of stuff. Then right here we have the robin and songbird mix, which has a couple of high energy pellets, some raisins, some sultanas, some corn, some red millet, some white millet, that sort of stuff. Here we have a bird table, and in it has mealworms, it has robin and songbird mix, as you can see, probably, and it also has a wild birdseed mix. So wild birdseed mix, robin and songbird mix, and mealworm mix. So that's the bird table there. Here we have a sunflower heart feeder, which the goldfinches love. They've been right pigs and they've eaten a lot of it already. We have them all the way around here. And here's a Niger seed feeder. You need a specialty feeder for a Niger seed. So with the sunflower hearts, you can put them on a bird table or something like that. But with the Niger seed, you have to have a specialty feeder. Goldfinches mainly like Niger seed, as I explained earlier. But good old feeder for that. Down there we have an insect suet block and a blackbird suet block. Over here we have a mealworm suet block in its actual rightful cage place. A suet coconut, suet pellets, which every type of bird loves, pretty much. High energy mix, pretty much any type of bird likes it. Red millet, that sort of stuff, as I explained earlier. It's just in a normal feeder that you can find anywhere. It's a metal one, so it's a bit better quality. But yeah, so that's a good feeder there. Okay, with the suet pellets, it's best to have them on like a platform or in a specialty feeder, but it's very hard to find a specialty feeder for suet pellets this size, which is the preferred size for a lot of birds. So yeah, this is just a regular old platform. So you can get like a ground feeder in this, and this is basically the higher up, slightly higher up equivalent of a ground feeder. Right here we have the good old fashioned fat balls. These ones are fruit and berry in the good old trusty fat ball feeder. It's just a little metal cage. Here we have good old peanuts, yeah, in the another metal feeder. The lid just lifts off there. So I don't really take many of these feeders off. I have like refills and that. So there you go. There's that. Now here is a berry coconut suet block, and as you can see, it has a lot of bird beak marks in it. They absolutely love it. Just got that hanging from the feeder there. And things are good for hanging. Ground again. So this type of feeder is good for any type of bird really. Blue tits. So this is a platform feeder, basically a ground feeder, basically bird table, that sort of thing. You can buy these. We made it. We bought a 50p kids trolley. Took the whole bottom out. Then we put. Took the little corners out. Took the wheels off. Took the string off. Then after that, it's pretty easy to just screw it in to there. Screw it in to a bunch of wood that we had. Spare wood, like fence paneling type wood. And then we just varnished all that up. We had a stake, proper stake that goes into the ground. Measured it all out correctly. And then just put that straight into the ground. As I said, this bird table is perfect for pretty much any type of bird. Doves will probably go on this, pigeons will probably go on this, a lot of types of bird will go on this, especially because there is a wild birdseed mix, mealworms and robin and songbird mix in here. A lot of variety in there, so a lot of birds will flock to this table right here. It's perfect for a lot of birds because a lot of birds like robins and dunnocks and etc., they like to have invertebrates like mealworms because that is what they commonly eat in the wild, number one, and number two, they can't really cling onto a feeder properly because they mainly walk along the ground and they don't really nest in trees very often or go in trees very often. So it's best to have a platform feeder, a ground feeder, or just any type of feeder like that, like a bird table. So there you go, that's perfect for that type of bird. These are perfect for doves and blackbirds and that sort of things, starlings. Now here is where I used to have the old just a plain old wild birdseed mix on the floor here in a small container, which I might carry on doing. I'm just debating it because it's not very good to have food on the floor because diseases from birds can spread very easily, and the rats will come. So I'm just going to bury that right there. But be careful because a lot of birdseed is grass seed, so just got to be careful with that. You don't really plant anything, especially these black sunflower seeds. You never know, if I plant it correctly, I might have a sunflower. So that's pretty good right there. This feeder is just made for Niger seed. It's made for finches, goldfinches, that sort of thing. This is made for whatever likes it. This is made for whatever likes it. But robins will also maybe go on it, depending on if they like it or not, because it does have a platform. Made for birds that can hang with their feet onto things like this. Blue tits, that sort of thing. Starlings, blackbirds, all that sort of stuff. It's not really made for blackbirds though, because they have a hard time doing that, eating from there. So they mainly like bird tables and platform feeders, but you never know. When our blackbirds absolutely love it. They just can't resist. We had mealworms in here before, and now we've got high energy mix in here. They can't resist it. They like it too much, they just crouch over and look like right weirdos, but they still eat it. Just perfect for any ground feeding bird or platform, that sort of thing. Perfect for whatever likes it. But it is very important that you must get a specialised peanut feeder, because peanuts need to be pecked down. If they are too big, they will feed it to their young and choke on it or choke on it themselves. Do not feed robins peanuts. Perfect for whatever likes it. And quite simply, that's around about all I have to say for you guys today. Just do your research, including this video, and just have a look around. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of birds like a lot of different things. If you just test it out, then you'll be good to go. You don't have to have all the variety that I have if you don't want, because it is quite a lot of money. I spent £20 alone on one buy for all these bird things, not including the high energy mix. I spent about £25, not including the high energy mix, one of the suet blocks, one of the feeders, the platform that we had to build, not including all the refills that we've had to build, rebuy, suet pellets, mealworms. So that was £25. Today I've gone and spent another £15 or more on buying more refill bird seed and a feeder. It is not a easy hobby, bird watching. It is quite expensive. But even if you don't want to watch the birds, and you just want to feed them and make them have a good life, because they go through a natural food shortage in the winter, which is bringing me on to another point. Do not just put food out in the winter. That was a common gardener's myth. The real truth is, if you only take it down after winter, the birds have nowhere to eat, because they rely on a food source. That food source will be you, and they will probably only eat from you. And the birds are chirping really loudly right now because they're getting mad because I'm in their territory and they want some food. So I'm going to have to wrap up this video quite quickly, but do not leave your food out for the winter only. If you want a wide variety of birds, then get a wide variety of seed and get a wide variety of platform feeders, normal feeders, different things like that. If you go into the pet store and ask them what you need, then they will definitely tell you if they have that knowledge, which they should do. Okay, another one thing is, if you just want to start it off and just want to try bird watching for the first time, then the easiest thing to do is just buy a cheap pair of binoculars, which you don't need if they're in your garden. Then I would just buy some regular feeders like this and like that and like that. That was all I would buy, because a lot of variety of birds will come to them feeders. Now, if you're not getting any birds on them feeders, it's probably not where you live. It might be where you've got them positioned. Different birds like them different heights. Probably not right on the ground, unless of course it's robins, blackbirds, etc. Probably somewhat high up. Maybe consider getting a stand like that. That would be quite useful. Or just tie them to some trees. But get them sorts of feeders, the common feeders that a lot of birds like, and Get the common sorts of food, fat balls, peanuts, and a regular old wild bird seed mix. Or if you've seen some robins around or that sort of thing, just get some good old robin and songbird mix maybe. Whatever suits your needs, but I would start off wild bird seed mix. Maybe not premium, but if you've got a high budget, that's fine. Wild bird seed mix, peanuts and fat balls. That's all you need to start off with. Now, once you get into the hobby more, if you do like it, maybe consider buying a pair of binoculars, maybe consider buying some Niger seed, maybe consider buying some sunflower hearts, maybe consider buying some fat balls, some fat blocks, some suet blocks, some suet pellets, some energy mix, some mealworms, all that sort of stuff. But that is for a higher budget, because it will cost you. I spent about almost £50 in the last week on birds, wild birds, not including my budgie. So just bear in mind how high your budget is. And one last thing that I have to mention is a great way to attract birds to your garden is simply by putting a tray of something for a bird bath. Or maybe you could buy a full-on stone bird bath, which we have over here. Next to the tree, there's a good old-fashioned bird bath. Them simple things, maybe making a platform feeder, maybe getting a little tray or having a tray that you have inside your house and putting some wild bird seed in, anything like that, just go for it. But be careful, don't position them too close to your house unless the birds get used to it. I'm going to go now because the birds are getting mad and they want their dinner. Signing off for now.